Hello, welcome to the third episode of Struggling Chess Player. And in this episode, I'm going to show you one game from Silver Lake Open. This was played after the Serbian Championship under 16, where I got the third place. And on Silver Lake Open, I played against some very strong opponents, and one of them was my opponent from this game, Shorgic Dragon, and he was near 2300, which was at that point a really strong opponent to me. And let's see how did it go. So he played knight f3, which even now I don't like so much because it doesn't reveal too much to you what does he want to do. And at that point I played only Slav against knight f3, d4 setups. So I continued knight f6, flexible, and after g3 I wanted to go for d5, c6, bishop f5 setups, which are similar to setups I play in Slav. Bishop g2, c6, and I guess that he wanted to throw me off with some reverse colors setups, but I just set up like I usually do with bishop f5, knight d7, and now e5 I played. I don't know why, but because I think I usually do with e6, but I don't see anything wrong with this. But e5 is, I think, less solid than e6. e6 is just rock solid. Queen e1, so now he wants to push e4. I just develop, and after he takes, we get some kind of symmetrical position, which I liked at that point. I like them even now. So he plays knight h4. He wants to get the bishop pair, but I don't mind really losing the bishop pair here because the position is not opened up. So I was more afraid of some ideas like f4 trying to trap my bishop somehow. But I think after I take on f4 gf, my bishop still has some space to go, and his pawn structure is compromised, so there is some compensation for those two things. I just castled. I didn't care about potential f4, and my opponent, I think he's also a very positional player, so he just played calmly for a bishop pair, but I think he underestimated me in this game because he thought he would just easily outplay me in this endgame, which seemed to me very solid for black. Yes, he has a bishop pair, but I don't see how is he going to deploy that bishop pair at all. So he tries queen e2, trying to connect the rooks. On next couple of moves, queen c7, bishop e3, and now I start expanding on queen side. This was more a prophylactic move against some a4 moves, maybe. And next I want to go bishop c5 to trade off one pair of bishops to make this bishop on g2 very bad looking. He plays a3, I guess, to stop either bishop b4 or b4 just. And now I play bishop c5, rook fd1, rook fd8. There is no need to hurry with the exchange because if he moves to d2, then my bishop is just too powerful. Rook d2, a typical strong player move, trying to incrementally make his position better. Bishop b6. I just want to to free my knight at some point. So if he doesn't take on b6 now, which he did, I would maybe go knight f8, try to exchange one pair of rooks and knight e6, and go to d4. That was my initial plan. And he goes bishop b6, and now I think I could have taken on b6 with knight. But somehow I didn't want to leave c5 opened. For example, if I go knight b6, he might go b3, and now this weakness on c5, he might go queen e3, queen c5, and in some potential ending, this knight might come to c5, and I might have some troubles. That was my concern in that moment. So I played a b6, trying to control all the squares on the queen side, and he plays rook a d1, knight c5, which was my idea, and my knight is very stable on c5, queen e3. But now, if I take on d2, I was afraid that he would take with queen, but that also wasn't such a big threat, I suppose. Because then I would, after rook d2, queen d2, knight e6, I would have next rook d8, and all problems would go away. Because even after queen d6, I have rook d8, and after this I exchange rooks, and this position is also very solid for black. I just go with king up, and my position is very solid, like in the game. So I play king f8, trying to prepare king e7 and exchanging and defending d8 with my king. And he plays f3 here, king e7, king f2, takes, and now I play rook d8. I played strictly for a draw here. Let's be honest. I played strictly for a draw. My opponent is 200 plus rating points higher than me, and at that point I was very, very obsessed with gaining rating. And at that tournament I had lots of draws against stronger opponents. I had a draw against International Master about 2400. I had a draw against FIDE Master about 2300, and I played this game. So I just wanted to exchange everything off the board and to make a draw. Simple as that. Not the best strategy, of course, but sometimes it works. And now I was just shuffling around for a bit, and now I started executing my plan to put all my pawns on the king side, at least the majority of my pawns on the king side, to dark squares, so they cannot be fixed by white pawns. And after b4, which is a nice move because he fixes my b5 and c6 pawns on light squares, and there might be some issues in the future, but as we will soon see, it's not a big issue because it's blocked position. He doesn't have approach to those pawns. I played g6 because he would like to go knight e3, knight f5, so I just want to block this approach. Knight e3, and now king c7. I just shuffle around. Sorry about that. King e3, king e7, king d2, king d6, knight e3, king c7. Everything is protected so nicely. Bishop f1, king d6, bishop h3. I just move around, and after this move, I think we played 5 or 6 moves more, but as I can recall, he didn't even try to push those queenside pawns, like to make some break, because that would be really double-edged. Because, for example, if he pushes c4 now d4 is under my control, so I can take, go b5, and after, let's say, knight a5, I have knight d4, and it might become a bit problematic for him. So after king d7, we played a couple of more moves, we shuffled around, but I don't think anything significant happened, like a4 at some point or c4, because it would be a necessary risk for white. And after a couple of more moves, we agreed to a draw, and I was so happy at the moment. Oh, I made a draw against FIDE Master. Oh, what a nice achievement for me. Because I think that was the first tournament I made a draw against FIDE Master. And I achieved it with such a solid play. But I think in this game I was lucky that my opponent was also very calm and didn't challenge me much, like the other players also. In the next episode, I will show you a game from the last round of this tournament, like like always. And stay tuned. Bye.